End result is to win a gold, and I think we always have that mindset when we play with Team USA. Pro players that have never played together, practice twice, and then expect to win a gold medal. But we will always figure a way to sacrifice.
Diana Taurasi, the WNBA's all-time leading scorer, just put up 3 points in a game. Yeah, you heard that right. 3 points from the player with 5 Olympic gold medals. What's going on with the legend, and is it time for her to hang up her jersey? All right, let's break it down. Diana Taurasi's recent performances, they're not just bad, they're shocking. We're talking about a player who's been dominating the court for decades, suddenly looking like she forgot how to play. In that Nigeria game, she scored a measly 3 points before getting benched. That's not a typo, 3 points. But here's where it gets really wild. In the game before that against Belgium, Taurasi scored exactly 0 points. That's right, zilch, nada. The GOAT of women's basketball couldn't even sink a single basket. It's like watching Michael Jordan airball a free throw. It just doesn't compute. Now, let's put this in perspective. This is Diana Taurasi we're talking about. The same Taurasi who's got more Olympic gold medals than most players have fingers to wear them on. The same Taurasi who's been lighting up scoreboards in the WNBA for years. She's not just good, she's been otherworldly. But now it's like watching Superman suddenly forget how to fly. 1 minute, she's soaring through the air, making impossible shots look easy. The next, she's struggling to even get off the ground. It's a fall from grace so steep, it's giving basketball fans whiplash. And you know what makes this even crazier? This isn't just some regular season slump. This is happening on the biggest stage in sports, the Olympics, where every game counts, where every point can be the difference between gold and going home empty-handed. And Taurasi, she's coming up empty. Fans are starting to talk, and not in a good way. The whispers are turning into shouts. People are asking the question nobody thought they'd ever ask. Does Diana Taurasi still belong on Team USA? I mean, can you blame them? When you've got a player who's supposed to be your star, your leader, your go-to scorer, and she's putting up numbers that wouldn't impress a high school coach, it's natural to start asking questions. But here's where it gets really interesting. It's not just about the numbers, it's about what those numbers mean for Team USA, because let's face it, when your legend is struggling, it puts pressure on everyone else. Suddenly, the whole team dynamic shifts. Other players have to step up. Coaches have to rethink their strategies. It's like trying to win a race with a flat tire. And you know what's making this whole situation even more tense? Fans, or should I say the lack of fans, because while Taurasi's struggling on the court, the stands are looking pretty empty too. But we'll get to that in a minute. Right now, the big question on everyone's mind is what's next for Diana Taurasi? Can she bounce back? Is this just a temporary slump, or are we witnessing the end of an era? Because let's be real, even legends have to hang it up sometime. But is that time now for Taurasi? Some fans are calling for her to step aside, make room for younger players. Others are defending her, saying she's earned the right to play through a rough patch. It's turning into a real debate with people getting heated on both sides. And you know what's really adding fuel to this fire? Comments from fans like this. Diana Taurasi, I respect your career, but you shouldn't be here. Ouch. When fans start talking like that about a player they've idolized for years, you know things are getting serious. But here's the thing. Taurasi's not just any player. She's a fighter, a competitor, someone who's faced down challenges her whole career and come out on top. So while her recent performances have been rough, to say the least, it's hard to count her out completely. All right, we've talked about Taurasi's struggles on the court, but now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture, because there's another issue that's got people talking, and it's not just about what's happening on the hardwood, it's about what's happening in the stands, or should I say what's not happening? You ready for this? Only 12,436 fans showed up to watch Team USA take on Nigeria. That's it. In a stadium that can hold over 18,000 people, nearly a third of the seats were empty. It's like throwing a party and half your friends bail on you at the last minute. Not a great look, right? But wait, it gets worse. The game against Japan, even fewer people showed up. We're talking 13,040 fans. That's the lowest attendance of any team in that group of games. Team USA, the powerhouse of women's basketball, playing in front of a crowd that wouldn't even fill up a high school gym in some places. Now you might be thinking, maybe it was just a bad day, maybe people had other plans up, but here's the thing. This is Team USA we're talking about. This is the Olympics. This is supposed to be the pinnacle of women's basketball. So why are the stands looking so? It's a head scratcher for sure. You've got a team packed with WNBA stars, players who've been dominating the court for years, athletes who've got more gold medals than most of us have pairs of shoes, and yet the fans just aren't showing up. So what gives? Is women's basketball losing its shine? Are people people just not interested anymore, or is something else going on here? Or some folks are pointing to the economy. Maybe people just can't afford tickets right now. Others are wondering if the game times are off, making it hard for fans to attend. But there's another theory floating around, and it's got people talking. You know whose name keeps coming up? Caitlin Clark. Yeah, that Caitlin Clark. The college phenom who's been lighting up scoreboards and breaking records left and right. The same Caitlin Clark who didn't make the Olympic team. Now, I'm not saying Clark would have filled every seat in the arena, but you can't deny the buzz around her. People are wondering, if Clark was out there instead of some of the veterans, would the stands be fuller? Would there be more excitement in the air? It's a tough question to answer. On one hand, you've got the proven stars, the ones who've been winning gold medals since some of us were in diapers. On the other, you've got this new generation of players bringing fresh energy and a whole lot of hype. It's not just fans asking these questions, even some players are chiming in. Take Ariki Ogunbowale, for example. She said, honestly, when it comes to that stuff, it really doesn't have much to do with your game. It's really about who they feel like fits with the team. That's some interesting insight into how these teams get put together, right? But here's the thing, this isn't just about Caitlin Clark or Diana Taurasi or any one player. It's about the future of women's basketball. It's about how we keep the game growing, how we keep fans engaged, how we fill those empty seats. Because let's be real, empty seats don't just look bad on TV. They can affect the whole vibe of the game, the energy in the arena, the excitement level, everything. So now we've got this perfect storm brewing. You've got a legend like Taurasi struggling on the court. You've got attendance numbers that are making people nervous. And you've got fans and players alike questioning the team selection process. You've got people arguing that Taurasi's time is up, that she's holding back the team, that it's time for new blood. And you know what? They might have a point. When you're watching a legend struggle like this, it's hard not to wonder if maybe, just maybe, it's time to pass the torch. But here's the thing. This isn't just about Taurasi. It's about the future of Team USA. It's about finding that perfect balance between experience and fresh talent. And that's where things get really interesting. Enter Caitlin Clark, the college phenom who's been breaking records left and right, the same Caitlin Clark who didn't make the Olympic team. And boy, are fans upset about that. Imagine this, Clark out there instead of Taurasi. Would the stands be full? Would the scoreboard look different? It's not just idle speculation. Some folks are saying if Clark was on the team, attendance could have doubled. That's huge. Yeah, now, I'm not saying Clark is the answer to all of Team USA's problems, but you can't deny the buzz around her. She's got that spark, that energy that gets fans excited. And right now, with those empty seats we talked about earlier, Team USA could use some excitement up, but it's not just about butts and seats. It's about performance on the court, and that's where things get really tricky. Because yeah, Taurasi's struggling, but she's also got years of Olympic experience under her belt. She knows how to handle the pressure. Clark, she's unproven at this level. So it's like this. Do you go with the proven champion who's having a rough patch, or do you take a chance on the rising star who might just light up the court? It's not an easy decision, and you know what? This isn't just a basketball problem. We've seen this in other sports too. Remember Shaq's later years with the Celtics? It was like watching your favorite superhero movie, but the hero's getting too old for this. You still love them, you still respect them, but man, it's tough to watch. That's the thing about sports. Father Time is undefeated. Even the greats have to hang it up eventually. The question is, when and who decides? For Taurasi, that decision might be coming sooner than we thought, but here's the kicker. She's already said the 2024 Paris Olympics will be her last, so now we're all wondering, is she going out with a bang or with a whimper? It's a tough situation all around, for Taurasi, for Team USA, for the fans. Because let's be real, nobody wants to see a legend go out like this, but at the same time, you can't ignore the numbers. You can't ignore the empty seats, and that brings us back to the big question. What's best for Team USA? Is it sticking with Taurasi, hoping she finds her groove again? Or is it time to bring in some new blood, even if that means saying goodbye to a legend? And it's not just about this Olympics either. It's about the future of women's basketball in the US. It's about staying competitive on the world stage. It's about inspiring the next generation of players, because here's the thing. Someday, Caitlin Clark is going to be in Taurasi's shoes. Someday, she'll be the veteran facing questions about her spot on the team. That's how sports work. The cycle never ends. So maybe, just maybe, this isn't about Taurasi versus Clark. Maybe it's about finding a way to honor the past while embracing the future. Maybe it's about creating a team that can do both.